Hey guys, this is Avilo. Get ready. This is Thor. This is the test. This is a grand test of the Thor Hyperballistic Missile upgrade. One of many tests to come. One of many tests already completed. The Hyperballistic Missile upgrade gives the Thor +3 range, +6 damage, and 0.25 extra splash damage. And you can see here I'm 3-3, and Coral Cosma, who's helping me test this, is 3-3, and we are going to test 36 Hyperballistic Missile Thors against 32. Let's see here. Let's see how many carriers he has. I think he has 32 if I remember correctly. He has 32 carriers, so this is 36 Hyperballistic Missile upgraded Thors against 32 carriers. And we're going to play the test with him not rebuilding interceptors. We're going to assume he has no more money to rebuild interceptors. And here we go! It's happening. I'm attack moving to kill a lot of the interceptors here. You'll notice I'm also taking out clumps of carriers. And there you have it, my friends. What one upgrade. This is essentially what one upgrade this is essentially what one upgrade and a couple number changes can do to make Mech viable, guys. As you just saw here, Mech can be viable. Obviously, this is a very, very extreme situation that we're testing, but you just saw Thors were actually able to kill air units, and that is through one upgrade, the Hyperballistic Missile upgrade. Once again, all that upgrade does is it adds 6 damage to the Thor's auto anti-air attack. It adds 3 range, so Thors can actually deal with, you know, air units and take them out of the air. And it also adds 0.25 splash damage, so a little bit of extra splash. Just that one upgrade alone makes it so Thors can actually kill interceptors a lot better. It makes it so Thors can actually kill the carriers themselves better, and Tempest, and I think people are gonna love this, and you know, I hope the community will get on board for actually testing this and seeing that, you know, this will actually help make Mech so you can make mass factories. You won't have to mass starports. You won't have to sit here half an hour and turtle into mass starports to be able to, if you scan your opponent's base, if you scan his base and you see that he's massing air units, you can just switch all of your factory production over to Thors. So you actually have an anti-air counter to somebody who is just massing air units. And what this means, guys, once again, there's a lot of implications of this. Once again, this is a vacuum scenario, but you can see the strength of the upgrade. What this means is, you know, air units aren't going to be the end-all be-all against Mech. So air units will still be good, but Mech will actually have a ground counter to air. And so what does that mean? It means that if you do scan the Protoss starting to mass air, you can start making Thors yourself. You can start massing Thors, and you don't need Vikings. So instead of needing, like, your production, your Mech production is your actual production. Because the problem is, when you see somebody doing this, if you scan their base and you see they're massing air, the problem with Mech is all of this production, it becomes obsolete, and your only production that matters are your starports to get out as many Vikings as humanly possible. But you got to remember, now that the Thor is able to counter air units reasonably well, what that means is you don't have to mass starports. All of your production will actually be useful. All of your mech production doesn't become obsolete. This fact alone changes the entire scope of the game, making mech a viable strategy. Just this one upgrade added into the game completely changes, the game. There's a couple other changes that I'll be doing, testing out some supply changes on Tempest carriers, BCs, Liberators, and whatnot. I'm going to be testing some other stuff, but I feel like even just this upgrade alone does a lot for the game and will, make mech viable in a way that, it doesn't really change much else with mech. Obviously, we're getting a siege tank buff as well, according to Blizzard. But, nothing else in the game has changed except for this one upgrade. And I do have to mention this upgrade, researching it, it's on the factory tech lab. It's the Hyperballistic Missile upgrade. It does require a fusion core to upgrade, so you do actually need a fusion. It comes later on in the game, so you can't get this too early on in the game until you have a fusion core. Yeah. So the other thing I was mentioning, so since you don't need starports and you don't need 20 Vikings is 40 supply you would need to counter air units. That 40 supply now can go into 6 more Thors. It can go into more mines from your factories. Maybe that 40 supply now goes into Thors and Cyclones, perhaps, or more tanks, or like that 40 supply, or Ghosts. That 40 supply is now opened up. The 40 supply you would have needed in Vikings now opened up, which intrinsically means that if your opponent's air, if the Thor is good enough to actually fight against air, they can't just only mass air, perhaps. What that means is maybe we'll see more games where Protoss, is dissuaded from massing carriers and Tempests, since you do have a viable counter now. They can still do it, and it'll probably still be pretty, effective, but you'll have a decent counter. So maybe, it might dissuade them enough from massing Tempests and carriers that perhaps instead of these, they'll make 5 to 10 more gateways for gateway units. Or they'll make, maybe instead of Stargates, they'll make 4 to 5 more Robos, and they'll start making mass Disruptors, mass Colossus. And what does that mean for the game? Well, that means, as the Terran player, you'll be building a lot more tanks. You'll be building more ground yourself to counter their robotics units. You'll be building the Ghost. You'll be building more tanks, maybe more Thors, more Cyclones. It'll be a ground versus ground game rather than only past the 15-minute mark or 10-minute mark where Protoss decides he sees you going mech, he starts massing only Tempest carrier, and you have no counter option. You just have to all your production now is doesn't matter. Only production is however many starports you have to mass air. So this one upgrade alone changes that entire situation. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys will give me feedback on this so that I can give this feedback to Blizzard, and hopefully we can get this implemented in the game. And it'll be really awesome for the game, I believe, and it'll help alleviate the mech situation. If you want to test this out, if you want to test the Hyperballistic Missile upgrade yourself, get on the NA server. The mod, it's an extension mod. Create a custom game. Create with mod, and the mod is called Hyperballistic Missile. So type in the search bar. So create a custom game on Dust Towers. Make sure you create with mod, and then when you're looking up the mod, type in Hyperballistic Missile, and that will bring up the mod, and that will have the upgrade in the game for the Thor. Just once again, it's on the tech lab, and it requires you to build a fusion core. So test it out, guys. Let me know what you think. Once again, this is something that me and niceusername are working on. He's another member of the SC2 community. He makes a lot of those videos. It looks like this, but it feels like that. You should check those videos out, guys. But he's the one that's helping me implement these changes. I'm sort of thinking up the balance changes, and he's putting them into the map editor and putting them into a mod. So we're working together to save esports, guys. I think this is a lot more positive and better than complaining. Actually putting this into practice, testing it, and then hopefully we can get this feedback to Blizzard, and hopefully they will feel that this is, this is a good change to the game. But let me know, guys. I think a lot of people are when you play around with this on the mod, I think a lot of you guys are going to be really, really happy with how different Mech plays with just this single upgrade in the game, and how much better the game is, how much more viable Mech is overall when you're able to actually go factory-based Mech instead of having to sit there and spam air units. So test this out, guys. Let me know what you think. I will be I'm planning to run some show matches on this map with probably, and once again, there's a lot more changes I have planned down the line. You know, to implement it into this test mod. That niceusername will get in there, and we'll get these out. We'll get these out to you guys. But I feel so comfortable that this changes so much to the game that I want to, I'm gonna actually try and get some people to play some show matches on this map. I'll try and find some Mech Terrans out there, perhaps, or some Masters Terrans that want to play against some Masters Zerg and Protosses to test this out and see how the games play out. And I'll probably put up some of my own money as, some show match money, prize money to, incentivize people to play on it and get people to play on this. So if you actually, if any of you guys out there watching this video are interested in playing in a show match, in show matches like this, let me know. Tweet at me, message me on Twitch, etc. So see you guys later. Once again, this is called the Thor Hyperballistic Missile, 0.25 extra splash, +3 range, and +6 damage to the flat to the air attack. So I'll see you guys later. Peace out, everybody. Let's fucking save esports. Let's do it.